DSN, WR News Broadcast, 1620 AM in Lehigh Valley on the DSNBX app, and always available at 950lounge.com or our 950 Lounge app. Well, to the lady to my left, let me explain the story first. Big shout to my man Ron Hope from Millennium Music Media in the building. Happened to be at a major event hosted by Millennium last week. Myself, Rodeo, backstage was there. And Just was working on in somebody's restaurant. So we happened to do the event. Did some interviews with Professor Griff, Charles Carter, from Slave, some major names. And it was a young lady happened to be there. So I walk in. I'm already like focused. Like I'm interview savvy. Like, all right, I got a job to do today. And I'm focused. No. I have to build up for the audience. Got to build it up. So, okay, whatever. I'll be polite as I'm a gentleman. So walked out. And I said to myself, went to the bathroom, came back. Like Soleil. Nah, I can't be.
I thought you were going to say that he didn't wash his hands.
No, I don't know. That's you. I
to wash my hands.
Man, that's you. That's why you're always catching colds. That's another story. I digress.
I carry my spray.
So I walked back in. Obviously, it was Soleil, and it was a great conversation. And that was Sunday, and it's Saturday, and she's sitting here at 950 Lounge today. Welcome artist, mom, self-defense guru, the lovely Soleil. Thank you for coming to 950 Lounge this morning. Thank you so much. Clap for ya.
Take a bow. Strong J.
How you been? How's things going?
Well, I'm very well. Busy.
Busy's a good thing. Busy's a good thing. I mean, again, the Millennium thing, and then now here, and and you taking some time out today on Saturday, it's really appreciated because I know you have a busy schedule.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Normally, I have to point out to Rodeo. I don't know how your ride was. You rode up with him, but normally he's the one I have to kind of reel in. Today is a little different. Today is this guy, because when I told him you was coming on the show, he was like, "Oh wow, yes. I remember. Yes. I had the posters on the wall."
Yes. He was trying to find the old. He was trying to find your CD covers.
CD covers, yes.
What do you mean we ain't got Soleil in
I
here?
admit to this, yes.
I denounce Target.
Yeah, so it's amazing because Just, you want to tell about your odyssey?
Nah, I'm smitten right now. Y'all don't understand. Like I'm looking at them, like she walked in the building. I'm like, oh man, like dang, like I remember when you came out.
Wow.
I remember when things went off. I was in high school now.
Oh wow, so you'll make me feel old now.
No, you that young.
You just lost the shine, man.
Listen, man, I'm being honest. I was like a high school love affair right there. You don't even know.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I was going to tell my story.
You.
I was just driving and I saw her hitchhike and say, "You need a ride? Yeah, come on with me."
Yeah, but she probably kick your ass because you know kung fu. But let's get into it. You obviously you burst onto the scene. I guess now about I won't say the year.
Oh my
God.
God.
You burst onto
already said it all.
I mean, JT Money 456. So talk about that. I mean, growing up, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City. In the
big
Midwest.
shout out to the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah,
love the rib.
Yeah, Royals and the Chiefs.
There you go, Royals and the Chiefs. But you grew up, hit the scene hard, became an overnight success. How is that? Where you got guys like this guy that were like, wow, like you became that not just a musical maven, but a sex symbol overnight.
Yeah. It always seems like it's overnight, right? But it never is.
Never
so
is, right.
I was performing since I was a kid. So I was doing theater and writing poetry and acting since I was a kid. And then I started, I heard Rapper's Delight, and I had to be like 6 or 7. And I memorized it, and I used to repeat it all the time. And my brothers was like, how that don't even sound like it's coming out your mouth. And so I started a group when I was about 12 or 13 with my best friend. It was called Divine. And so we were doing like the talent show circuit, opening up, which is how I met Griff.
Right.
We opened up for Public Enemy. I was about 15.
And that brother, I got to say this, I know you've known him for years.
Yeah.
That is a powerful brother. Big shout out to Professor Griff.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening, or maybe he'll catch the tape. He's probably asleep right now.
No, he's up.
He's up. Okay. But that is a powerful brother. I mean, from a standpoint, we sat there at the Millennium event, and a lot of this stuff, because I kind of been through the Millennium rigors from way, way back. But I'm sitting there like writing stuff down because it's like you hear stuff, but you always learn.
Yeah.
So I can imagine knowing that man for that many years, it just prepared you for the music industry and what was, to come up forth.
Yeah, he's always dropping jewels. So you always pick something up.
Right.
Listening to him. So yeah, Yeah, he's an amazing person. Amazing person to know. And like I said, I've known him since I was 15.
Wow.
Wow.
How about 10 years later?
Yeah.
That's all that was.
Yeah, I wish.
Like I said, Justin already let the cat out of the bag about, I was in school.
Right.
Listen, I was at the end of high school.
You
I was
want
going to
Jibble
college.
Cup,
I'm over here sweating, bro.
I'm glad it's high school.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad it's high school.
See, the know something about Just Soleil is that Justin is our resident. He, if anybody has taken this show and what this show has grown into, whatever, to whoever, he has really run with it. He goes to restaurants, little bars. He picks up all the little club models. We'll keep it like that.
He wants
so
to
for him to be this quiet and this way, I'm like, really, Just?
Yeah.
It's the new normal, baby.
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
Yeah. There's certain ones that could come in here and shut me down. You got one of them. There's only like 3 more out there, so you got one.
He's like, to bring the rest in.
We're going to rock out here. We talking to Soleil.
He put extra Pompeii in his hair. It's showing the way.
Decided with the rag on last night.
I know, no, don't do rag, no. I don't wear do-rags. That's against the religion.
Soleil's from D.C.
I'm not. I live in D.C. I'm from Kansas City. So it
I wear
Yeah, do-rags out there.
Right. Gold teeth,
A bunch of Kansas City pimps.
Exactly.
I didn't say that. You did. My people in Kansas City.
Pimps, gators, and barbecue.
Oh my
What else
God,
is
that's
there?
true.
Right.
That's
what I got.
That's so it's 99 hits.
Yeah.
You become obviously so grown, but you become this star. You become this image. And rap wise, did people try to put you in a box like, wow, cute girls are not supposed to rap, long hair, and and you had steak potatoes at home. When you hit the scene hard like that, did it was like people try to put you in a box and say, well, you look this way, so you should be doing that, and your thoughts?
They did in the beginning when I was trying to get a deal. So
Right.
People would always be like, "Oh, you rap? Yeah, okay, yeah." It was guys, always
Right,
like, "Yeah,
right.
she can't rap." Then I opened my mouth and they was like, "Oh no, for real."
Yeah, you
so
was
even when I
hardcore.
got my deal with Red Zone with Tricky Stewart, he wasn't trying to hear me as a rapper. He was like, "Can you sing though?" And I was like, "Yeah, I sing a little bit. Like I
Right.
can't blow, but I can sing."
Right.
And so he was like, "Well, let me hear you sing." So I was singing backgrounds for them at the
Right.
studio. So he wanted to sign me as a singer
Is
first.
that where all the hooks came from? Like you did a lot of hooks in your song, a lot of R&B hooks.
You know what? Actually, Candy from Escape wrote a lot of those hooks. I did write some, but I worked. I was working with Candy from Escape, and she was writing, for Destiny's Child and some other people at the time. And she's an amazingly talented woman. So yeah, she actually wrote the hook for 456, the one you were referencing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but I actually Who Dat came out before my record.
Sure did.
So
Right.
Sure
Tricky was
did.
producing Who Dat for JT Money, and he had heard me rap finally and was like, "Oh no, we're signing you as a rapper. Like this is about to be crazy." And so he started letting me finally write some hip hop and record that. And he was doing a song for JT.
Right.
He called me. He was like, "I want to put you on this song." And so I came in and heard it, and I wrote my verse in like 5 minutes. I just sat there and wrote it and did it, and so that came out, and we won a Billboard award for it. It was like the number one. It was the longest song, hip hop song, at number one at that time.
So you really did your homework.
Man, I went and did my homework. Went and got on my app and everything yesterday. Yes, sir.
YouTube is proud of you.
Yes, sir.
But that's the song that really got me known. That's the
Right.
one. I had worked with Tech Nine. I grew up with Tech Nine too. So I had done work with him.
Right.
He's an amazingly talented and successful independent artist. But we grew up together too.
Yeah.
So I had done work with them. But the song that actually put me on, that people knew who I was Who Dat with JT Money.
Can I share something? Now, Soleil shared something with me that she did not want that 456 to be
a single.
the single.
Yeah. It just, I felt like is what you say. Like I felt like it didn't really fully represent who I was. But you get. But so much leverage in
We gonna put that song down.
That was their pick for the I helped create the video and everything around it, but it wasn't my choice for the lead single off the record. I wanted something a little more authentic to who I was, but it worked. It was a
now I'm just letting you know this brother right here loves the Lion King, so if he comes out and say anything about Lion King, understand.
Now, let's don't say
Black
about
Tourette's.
Let's don't say about fun size. Now, anyway, just want to just ask you a quick question. Like, coming from Kansas City, because a lot of people up here in New York and a couple other places, how was the rap game out there for you in Kansas City?
It was we were influenced by the East and the West Coast, and then there was a Midwest sound as well. I was more influenced and drawn to the East Coast, but I listened to and was heavily influenced also by groups like NWA and people that I had no business listening to when I was a kid. So, but my brother used to DJ, so he, you know, when he brought Eazy-E and Too Short and things like that, we would listen and we would be like, oh my God. So Kansas City as a whole, to me, from what I feel, was more heavily influenced by the West Coast.
Right.
But me personally, I was always drawn to the East Coast sound and the that content. You know that.
Well, Kansas City's like, it was like those cities were in the middle. I know a lot of like they were impressed by DJ Screw, you know, from Houston. You know, but, you know, a lot of that was going on. Everybody, it was like caught up in the middle. Like we in New York, we was East Coast.
Right.
Straight up. You know. Right. And like I say, other areas like Philly had their base, you know, Cali had their base.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, listen to whoever you want to listen to, and you know, you digress to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, that's what to also ask too. Was there any female rappers that you wanted to either rap with or that you wanted to do a song with? Anything else back then?
Back then, I mean, growing up, I listened to people like Roxanne Shante and Salt and Pepper. And me and my girl, we thought we was Salt and Pepper. We wanted to be them so bad. But then, you know, then the other artists that came up that paved the way for women like Foxy and Kim and, you know, of course those. So I was a huge Kim fan. So,
but I think, you know, you kind of lit
together.
that match. And you should definitely give yourself credit on that because in 99, 2000, it was right out, I guess Light and Latifah had the world. And, you know, Salt and Pepper had been a highlight. So then you came with a different look. You came with not just a rap skill, but came with a sex appeal. The fellas had to look, and so when they looked, they had to listen. Yeah. So it you know, sometimes when I tell Ron Ho all the time, music is visual. Yeah. Because now it's like I see something, and once I see it, I got to listen. Right. And if it sounds good to my octave, we got a hit here. And I think so you was part of that lighting the match. So definitely give yourself credit on that because it might not have been the Little Kims, it wasn't
the club music.
Well, you know, Little Kim. She actually came. Yeah, she preceded me. Yeah, she came out before
Kim was 96.
Me. Yeah, she did.
Fox was 94. 98.
Yeah,
they say Fox was 98.
So,
if I'm not mistaken.
Foxy was 98.
98. Kim was 96.
They both came out before.
Remember, Biggie was 95, 93.
Yeah, they both
93,
dropped
95,
before I did.
if I'm not mistaken.
I was definitely.
I would say she kind of.
Well,
we could say the strip club music. That's what I would say.
The trap music.
No, that's not trap music.
That's
only if you're married.
The strip club is called the trap because it traps any man that gets caught in there.
I don't know nothing about none of that.
Don't you know what I'm saying?
Only her and Adina Howard, I remember, got a lot of play.
Adina Howard.
Yeah. And that was trap.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, but if you was married, like I said, if you was married, you trapped.
He stayed trapped.
Yeah.
I'm not in this conversation. I'm going into my own world right now.
Who is your top 3 influential artists? Like, who pushed you to really say, I really could write, I really could do this? And it doesn't have to be rappers. It could be anybody.
Yeah. Wow. That's hard. Prince.
Wow.
Yeah, Prince as a kid. I was like a huge Prince fan, and I always admired, even as a child, the way that he married sexuality and spirituality. And so, because everybody always tries to separate and put those in a box. So even at a young age, that intrigued me. So definitely Prince. That's so hard to say, though. It's so many people that I was influenced by.
Michael Jackson?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I had a crush on Michael Jackson, Prince. Like,
original
Michael, the afro, or the nose Michael.
That's the problem here.
Like human nature, Michael.
No, it's two sides of Michael.
Human nature. It's more
not two sides of Michael.
It's kind of more because it was an in-between transition Michael, too. Like,
it was
that human nature bad Michael.
I'm so glad I thought you were going to say R. Kelly. I was like, oh, Lord, here we go.
Look, y'all are not drawing me into no nonsense. Like, not at all.
I love the light skins.
So we fast forward, and now speaking of spirituality, you're big into that now. This is kind of who you become. I mean, you probably always have been that, but now you're letting the world see, your yoga, some of the things you're doing kung fu wise, and you have a self-defense school. Talk about today, Soleil.
Yeah. So I stepped away from the music industry for a long time, and I never thought I would come back to entertainment at all. Right. So after I recorded a second album, I didn't release it. I said I didn't. I wanted to be released from the label. Right. I didn't. Was that a decision you wanted to make for yourself? Was it because of family or different things, or just a little bit of everything? It was several things. I didn't feel like they knew what to do with me.
Right.
I didn't feel like I had a lot of control over the project, and I just didn't want to put a lot of energy into something that I felt like they didn't know what to do with.
Right.
So because they kind of wanted to mold me into this pop artist that I didn't want to be, and I really wanted to be true to what I wanted to do and who I was. And, when you sign a deal, you kind of, you're at the mercy of the label. So, so I asked to be released, and it was back and forth. They finally agreed to release me. The album was completed, and I walked.
Wow!
And so, and then I kind of went on this spiritual journey, and I had no desire to go back into entertainment for a long time. But then that it kept pulling. But now I teach a lot of health and wellness, a lot of spiritual practices. So I teach yoga. I'm a certified Jiva Mukti yoga teacher. I have a black belt in Kung Fu. But I've been practicing martial arts since I was a kid. But I have a black belt in Kung Fu. I own a martial arts school. We teach Kung Fu, Tai Chi, yoga, kickboxing.
Wow.
I have a certification in plant-based nutrition. Wow. I'm a Reiki master. So a lot of...
You was busy.
Healing modalities.
Yeah, somebody was healing. It wasn't you. You was the one putting the healing on people.
I teach
on people.
Yeah. I teach sacred sexuality.
Let's touch on that a little bit. Now, you say, you can't whiz by sacred sexuality on this show.
Try to throw it underneath, right? Like we wasn't going to catch that, huh?
What is sacred sexuality? Yes,
this is honoring.
Being loyal?
It's more, not necessarily, but I'm loyal, but it's teaching sexuality from a sacred standpoint, like treating it as something sacred, treating it as a spiritual act, as opposed to something
that you just do
casual that is just thrown out.
So it's in the home.
It's a deeper level of sexuality.
It's not a sport.
No, it's in the home.
It's secret.
Close the door.
Sacred, not secret.
So it's not like just a regular day-to-day activity. It's something that
it can be a day-to-day activity.
I hope so.
No, when I say a day-to-day activity, you're saying it's supposed to be somebody special. And
there
not
should
with just
be some type of
a day-to-day
for
activity.
Me, it should be some type of connection other than just, you cute. Let me,
They're gonna have to be. They're gonna have to be that for you, Soleil, because you kick their tail. You do what you gotta do.
Oh
but
God.
with that being said, with that type of class, is that something done in a physical setting, or is it more online?
I teach classes at my school. I teach workshops. I'm teaching actually at the in Atlanta, October 1st, at their Natural Health and Hair Expo. I'm teaching a workshop called Nourishing the Goddess. So it's teaching women how to nourish their inner goddess from the standpoint of using food as medicine, sacred sexuality, sacred movement, herbalism, herbal medicine, self-care, because I'm a herbalist as well. So teaching from all those aspects, teaching really how to care for yourself as a form of resistance. So it's a social movement too, because we're able to pull ourselves out of that current medical paradigm of being stuck and using pharmaceuticals to get by, but really caring for yourself to be able to empower ourselves as a community and as women.
It's so true because we're so over medicated. They throw a pill at everything. Me and Rodeo, we also be bros. We have a mother who's just been in and out lately, and it's like all they want to do is just throw medicine at you. And I'm like, it's amazing.
There's no money in cures. There's money in prevention.
Exactly.
Money in illness.
That's right.
You remove yourself from that. From this current medical paradigm and really put a focus on wellness and preventative care, then then you've empowered yourself. Those are the things I teach.
Don't doubt, and it's necessary and it's appreciated. We're talking to the lovely Soleil here in Nafi Lounge.
I would love a question. where would somebody take you out to eat then? Because I mean, you're like,
do you bring your own seasoning to the restaurant?
I mean, we couldn't. I mean, I guess we couldn't go to places we go out to eat. You know,
speak for yourself.
I don't know where you go.
Speak for yourself. Don't include me in that situation.
Rodeo thinks eating healthy is going to Wendy's.
Oh my god!
Number 2.
They don't have their burgers ain't frozen.
But he knows the restaurant, so he ain't that far behind.
I mean, I've been vegan for about 8 years now, so you know, there's a lot of vegan restaurants now, especially in New York. There's tons of vegan restaurants. No,
like
it's not
tofu?
just salad.
Educate him, please.
So it's not to say you ain't.
It's not
what a
just
vegan is.
tofu.
So let's say to say you ain't go to BB King's or
I could
Texas
probably
barbecue.
find something on that menu. However, it wouldn't be my first choice.
Oh, okay.
But I think I've hit probably like every vegan restaurant in the in the area.
What's vegan food? What's the system?
What is vegan food? Well, what is it not? It's not anything that came from an animal. So no foods that came from an animal. No
I
meat,
went
no
in your
eggs,
refrigerator.
no
I was
dairy.
like, come on, so they ain't got nothing to eat me in?
Where the crackers?
In abundance in the garden.
It be the blender, all this blending food, you know.
No, it's not just blended food, but there's an abundance of variety in a vegan diet, and it should be.
Yeah.
As with any, lifestyle, it's more of a lifestyle than a diet. I don't like calling it a diet, but it's a lifestyle. It's a way of living.
It's commitment.
Yeah, but I mean, it has impacts not just on health.
That's why you like your
there's
25.
environmental
That's why you
impacts.
grip for 10 years because you looked at that. The vegan lifestyle's working.
I've known for 27 years.
Well, it only looked like 10 because you said 15. You like the 25. So
right. Don't start doing those numbers. See how old I am.
I'm a numbers person. With that spirituality and feeling, I kind of want to touch on a little bit. I know you're a mother, you got a kid in college. Talk about the presidential race. When we talk about spirituality and love and concern for our fellow man, and your thoughts on just what's happening, as a mother, as a person born in this country. Your thoughts on this presidential?
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, really right?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. It's amazing to watch that this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Right now, my children even look and they're like, "Mommy, if Trump gets elected, can we move to Canada? Can we move to Germany? Can we move to," they start naming all these places, but the alternative is not any better. It's like it's really no great viable option, and so what do you say?
Evils.
Like, what do you say that hasn't been said? I try to. I'm not heavily involved in politics, though I'm aware.
Right.
But I primarily keep my focus, and everybody has their lane.
Yes.
And I'm good at knowing my lane and staying in it. And so my lane is teaching people how to care for themselves, how to improve themselves. So improve the world by improving yourself.
Right.
Start
Control
working on yourself
the little cubby hole
first.
you deal with.
Exactly.
Right.
And then go out and reach out to those around you, and then that spreads. So on that, it's like, what do you say?
Right.
It's like, what?
Well, I think you just hit on the head that if we can become better people, what surrounds us, what makes us, our day-to-day, can be a little bit more enlightened. I think what we're seeing, and whether somebody likes Trump or not, I know we have different views on our listenership.
Yeah.
But my thing is, obviously, if we love one another, then those hateful comments wouldn't resonate so strongly, because they only resonate because people really feel that way. Right. So it's just like if Rodeo says, "I like steak," and we go eat steak, then and you're a vegan and he wants to make sure he's keeping you happy, he's not going to eat the steak because it's
Hell no.
He said,
yeah, I know you would.
I told turn the other way. Let's turn to the window.
Salads.
He's gonna find a way to eat that steak. He's gonna find a way.
So my thing is just what Trump is saying. It's a voice to people who probably felt this way all along and just didn't know how to say it.
He just opened up a platform for them to see.
He created a virtual water cooler, and now you can speak this way. And I think that's the sad part about it, is that even in 2016, when I had grandparents that marched on Washington, and they said the things they did, they didn't want me to do. Now I look back as a man in my age, and I'm having those conversations with my youngers, my nieces and nephews about the same thing they had with me. And that's the sad part about it, that that the highest job in the free world is President of the United States. Whether he has, we can talk political about the powers and stuff like that, but he is the figurehead. he or she is the figurehead.
Right. They're the face of the
face,
country.
right. And the thing about it is that should be held in the high esteem. I think right now we're losing it. And it's not just with
joke.
Trump.
Like,
it's
it looks
with
like
Hillary
a joke.
as well. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, but the system is broken.
Yeah.
So it's almost, it does matter who's in there, but it's more of the same.
Yeah, I'm writing in Ron Holden, but as my presidential
can't wait for that debate. That debate going to be a comedy show.
It really is.
It's disenchanting.
It is.
I'll say that. Just watching the whole, watching it all unfold, it's disenchanting and it's disturbing to my spirit. So I try to, just cut those strands.
Hillary
taking out the cutty.
Hillary taking out her hot sauce. Let's go. Let's do this. What is that?
I can't. And honestly, I don't watch TV a lot. I try to. I stay up. I read. And
what you reading now? What book is?
Oh my God, you don't even want to know.
I do.
There's one is Plant Healer's Path that I'm reading right now, but there's the side of my kids are like, oh my God, your room is a library, because I have a library in my house, but I bring my work to my bed. So my kids came in my room the other day and she was like, why is all these books on your bed? So I have a king bed, so one half of the bed is just covered in books, and they just stay. It's like I get up, make one side, then I change the sheets, take the books off, put them back.
Keep
it's like
the book under the pillow.
One word.
Message. In the morning, I gotta read.
That's all. Message.
The side of my bed is just stacks of books, so there's too many to even start.
Well, my mother taught me at a very young age that read one book a month, and I've been doing that, and I still do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's helped me.
The engine that could,
Well, obviously, she didn't tell my brother that, and that's where the divide is. Maybe that's why she told me, because I'm a little bit younger. But I try to read one book a month because I think it helps, and I tell it to all kids. Like if you can read one book a month, you'd be better off. Your vocabulary. The smartest man once told me, and a guy in the street, from talking about books, a guy in the street, your mouth's your strongest tool. If you know how to speak and get anything you want. So if you know how to communicate, whether that's in a professional setting, a street setting, a female setting, a radio setting, you will get where you want to go. So
it creates life and death.
Exactly.
So I'm a reader. I've always been. So I'm one thing
Reading
I do
Rainbow.
is collect books.
I can see your next mate. Is either me or the books. Well, the books are going to stay right here. So that's you making your own. You making your own wall. Like Trump said, you building your own wall.
Nah, that's just the present state. The books can go to the floor,
to the left. Show your ride.
Oh, really?
But you put them back in the shelf. All right.
I know we got a few minutes left. Again, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity, and I know your schedule was busy this week, and I gotta keep that so late. I'm glad you're here. Give me the 5-year plan. Obviously, without saying anything on this mic, you've gone through a lot of changes over the last couple of years. You've made some adjustments in life. Where's the 5-year plan for you? You got everything going. You did a movie a few years ago, and you got the music can come back too. You're doing the holistic stuff. Where do you see yourself at? Where's the next level for Soleil?
5 years. I just did another film that's coming out in September called Secrets. So some more acting, definitely a new music project, because I don't want that one record to be the only musical representation that I leave, especially when there's been a complete evolution of who I am as a woman. So I do want to leave another musical representation of that. So working on a new project, new music, songwriting a book, so that should hopefully be out by the end of this year.
Beautiful.
And we'll see. I would like to get remarried at some point. I love being a wife, but so we'll.
I'm single.
Okay.
I'm single.
Nope.
You already showed your
hand. You already high school.
Listen,
DVD on your bedroom wall.
I'm single.
You was in high school, or you was going by the school?
No, I was in the school. Trust me. I got this up here really working well, buddy.
Don't pay these fools no mind. But any event, whatever you choose to do, your future is continuously bright. I thank you. Whatever we can do for you from a 950 perspective.
Thank you. I appreciate
I know
it.
you can post that new music at, and he's sitting right there.
Yes,
He's
that
looking right at you. You said music.
Millennium 5. Yes, y'all check that out. That is going to completely flip the music industry on its head, but it is going to empower the artist. And it's what it's
I'm going to drop me a single because of Millennium.
Look.
Ooh, Bobby Blue Bland. I'm going to drop me a single.
Wait, he was like that.
Now you know we brothers. Now you know we brothers.
Oh my God. That's scary. He didn't rehearse that. Real quick, so where can people find information on you? Maybe one of your classes, information, that sex class that I know you dudes need.
That's what's stuck in your head, huh?
In between the 4 and the 5 and the 6.
Oh my God. On social media, I'm Mrs. Soleil, MRSSOLE on Instagram and Twitter. And Facebook, Devi Tribe Wellness, DEVI. Devi means goddess, so Devi Tribe Wellness. Yeah. And Dragon Academy of Martial Arts on Facebook as well. So IamSoleil.com is being updated, but it's still there. But we're doing some updates and changes to it. But you can find me there as well.
That's what's up. Yeah. Well, you are definitely a goddess, and we thank you for coming today. Make me a promise next time you're in New York, come on back.
I promise you I will.
That's what I'm talking about. The lovely Soleil. We're going to take a quick break. It's Non-Free Lounge.